everyone, so we're gonna start this set how we always start it. I already made sure that my hands as well as my models were properly sanitized. I then grabbed a cuticle pusher and gently pushed back her cuticles and then removed any shine and oil from her natural nail plate. Now that her nails are properly prepped for dip application, we are going to grab our number 1. This is Bond. We are going to apply this to the entire nail. Our first layer of dip powder is going to be natural. This is going to give our nail some strength. It is also going to create a base to make our colors more vibrant. We are going to apply base to 3/4 of the nail, making sure we have a thin, even layer. And then we are going to dip in at a 45-degree angle. Then you want to tap off any excess and then wipe the rest away with a brush. Now that we're done with our natural layer, we are going to grab our color. Today we're going to be using Peacharoo. It's a very pretty, vibrant coral color. Before you use any of the colored dip powders, you want to make sure that you roll the jar to properly disperse the pigment before you use it. We're going to apply base a hairline away from the cuticle, and we're going to cover the rest of the nail. And then we are going to dip at a 45-degree angle into the colored powder. And like before, you're going to tap off any excess and then brush away the rest. You're going to go ahead and repeat this process to the rest of the nails. After we've done our first layer of color, we're going to go ahead and do our second layer of color. We are going to cover the entire nail and dip it at a 45-degree angle into our powder. So now that we're done with our color, I'm going to grab the clear for our encapsulation layer. And for that, I'm going to be using the Kiara Sky Scoop, Pour, and Catch system. It's really cool because you can put the clear in one little tray and then pour it over the nail and recycle it so that you can use the same clear for the whole entire set without contaminating your jar of clear powder. So now that we are done with our encapsulation layer, you're going to grab your number 3. This is Sil Protect. This is going to solidify your dip powder. You want to make sure that you are properly saturating all the layers of dip powder. So now we're going to go ahead and let this dry before we start filing. So now that this is hard, I'm going to grab my hand file and I'm going to file the sidewalls and the free edge. So now that I'm done shaping this nail with my hand file, I'm going to grab my e-file and I'm going to clean up around the cuticle area and smooth out the top of the nail. So now we're going to wipe down the nail with a lint-free nail wipe and some alcohol. And this is just going to remove the dust from the nail. Now that we're done filing the nail, we're going to go in with a buffing block and we're going to buff the top of the nail. Now we're going to grab a lint-free nail wipe and some alcohol and we're going to clean the nail of any dust or debris. After you're done cleaning the nail, you're going to go ahead and grab your number 3 Sil Protect and you're going to apply this to the entire nail. After you've already applied Sil Protect to all of your nails, you're going to grab a lint-free nail wipe and you're not going to put anything on it and you are going to remove the excess Sil Protect. So now we're going to grab our Dip Essentials top coat and we are going to apply 2 layers of this. Your first layer, you're going to notice, is going to become semi-matte, and that's perfectly fine. That's what it's supposed to do. The final layer of top coat is going to keep its shine. When applying the top coat, you want to make sure you are doing thin, even strokes, and you don't want to overlap any section that you've already applied. You want to go ahead and wait for this layer to dry before you move on to your second layer. After your first layer of top coat is sufficiently dry, you're going to go ahead and apply your second layer using the same steps as the first. And there you have it, guys. You are on the perfect way to growing out your natural nails. Hey guys, so as you can see, we have a sufficient amount of outgrowth on her natural nail, and today we are going to be doing a fill. The great things about our dip powders is they're so pigmented, you don't even need to remove all of the color of your last manicure. You can just do your fill right over it and you won't even be able to tell. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab my cuticle pusher and we're going to push back her cuticles. So after pushing back her cuticles, I can see she has a little bit of dead tissue still attached to her nail. And I'm just going to try to scrape that away as best as I can with my cuticle pusher. The rest I'm going to be taking off with my e-file. This is going to properly prep her nail for dip application. So as you can see, I did not remove all the color because we do not need to do that. I did take down the majority of the bulk of the nail, and I blended the top of the nail flush into the natural nail plate. This is going to give me a smooth working surface, so when I apply my dip powder, we're not going to have any bumps. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my e-file with an arbor band, and I'm going to prep the natural nail plate, and then I'm going to rough up the surface of the nail, and we are going to get ready for our dip powder application. So the first thing we're going to do is grab number 1 Bond, and we're going to apply this to the natural nail plate. Now when doing an initial dip powder set, you usually use natural to build a structure underneath your color, but since we already have layers of dip powder that's going to give us that strength, we can move straight to the color. Today I'm going to be using a beautiful pink color from Kara Sky, and this is Pixie Pink. So now I'm going to grab my number 2 base, and I'm going to use this to adhere the color powder to her nail. As you guys can see, these powders are so pigmented that you can't even see the last color that was on this nail. So I'm going to go ahead and apply another layer, and we are going to finish up with our colored powder. So now to finish off this beautiful manicure, all I'm going to do is apply a little bit of Nourish Oil to her cuticle area, and I'm going to rub it in. Okay everybody, it has been 3 weeks since the last time we have done her nails, and you guys can see here that she has a pretty substantial amount of outgrowth. So now I'm going to be doing a removal so we can see how long her natural nails have grown. The first thing I'm going to do is grab a cuticle pusher and push back her cuticles, and then I'm going to grab my e-file and take down the bulk of the nail. I'm going to be using this tornado bit to reduce soaking time. So for her removal today, I'm going to be using these little cotton squares. I'm going to soak it in acetone, and then we are going to put on one of these little holders. It keeps the cotton pressed to her nail so that the acetone can soak into the product and break it up and be removed very easily. So now that I have that on her nail, we're going to wait for 8 to 10 minutes before we remove it. Okay, so now we've waited for about 10 minutes. To you guys, it's probably seconds. And we are going to remove this from her nail. You guys can see how easy it is, or it just slides right off. If you notice that there is a little bit of dip powder left on the nail, all you have to do is grab a hand file and slightly roll it off. It's not going to be attached at this point, it's just kind of sticking there. So you don't need to put any pressure, you're just going to roll it right off the nail. And there you have it guys, we are both extremely happy with these results. You can see how long her nails have grown using the dip powder. The best thing about dip powder is you can keep doing fills. Hers were lasting for 3 weeks. So you can keep doing your fill and your nails will keep growing, and you can grow them out as long as you want without worrying about them breaking. I hope you guys enjoyed our journey growing her natural nails out, and if you guys have any comments or questions, leave them down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.